revenge about my last fight here in Paris. Because he wasn't he didn't go very well, and the third part will be the title. It would be great as well for French people, to have the belt at home and claim France is a really good city for MMA. So that's what it is.
And after the first fight with Ryan, how certain were you that you'd get to run it back with him eventually?
Honestly, I was expecting to do the fight again pretty quick, but the next 3-4 months. But it took like almost 3 years. So at that point, it was quite a big deception. For sure, I had to keep going, no matter what, and enjoy, life and activities.
And last one for me. I mean, you mentioned the last fight you had in Paris not going your way, but how important was that, do you think? I mean, do you think getting that out of the way and feeling the nerves and everything fighting at home, doing that once will kind of help you in this one?
I mean, the thing is, from the first time, yes, the thing is, it wasn't great because, for sure it was the last minute, and you always try to do the best. Came here with few, with few. How should I say that? Oh yeah, just come here with not at your maximum, limited. So that's what it is. But the thing is now, we have the crowd, and we have no excuses, to show how great Bellator is here in Paris. So yes, that's one of the big motivations. It's gonna be on Friday.
All right. Well, best of luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Santiago.
Hi, Cheick. Greetings from Amsterdam. Thank you for the time. Cheick, you look in tremendous shape, like always. How did your camp go, and did you had to change a lot in comparison to your fight with Kharitonov?
Oh, yes, a lot. So today, during the camp, all my team used to listen myself about the ability to train in a good way, avoiding injuries and stuff. That's so funny because I'm 46 years old today, and it seems like I was 20 years old. For sure, the recovery was the big deal, to perform at this higher level, but it was great. I had a really great camp in California.
It seems like Bellator wants to return to Paris more often in the future. You guys have fought hard to get MMA legalized in France, and there's a lot of talent coming out of this country. How much does it mean to you, Cheick, to have Bellator frequently in your country hosting events?
You know what? Just like you guys, when you're organizing a lot of events, even in a month, the thing is, I've always been amazed about the way that you Dutch, organizing big events in 4 or 5 places in the same day and see the crowd going and cheering for their champs. And here it's going to be the same. Instead, it's going to be just one place to regroup, united, to unite all the French fellows. So yes, it's amazing. It's a big deal. So I have no idea how much more I could explain that, but it's a big proud. It's not especially for me, but also for my French photo fighters and also all the supporters. It's great.
I don't want to look ahead too much, Cheick, but many people expect Fedor to get a title shot next. Is that a fight that would interest you as well, Cheick, if everything goes well on Friday?
You know what? I'm still on the show. I'm still there, and if Fedor's coming, it's gonna be good. It would be the next. And the idea is always the same as I used to do when I used to fight for you guys. Always motivated, and a fight is a fight, and not give any chance or opportunity to my opponent to win. I'm a real deal. For sure, edges is a number. I hope to still be competitive, and perform at a higher level as I do today. So yeah.
Dylan? What's up, Cheick? Thanks for taking the time. What areas of your game would you say you have focused on improving most since the last time you and Bader met in the cage?
Just on the stamina right away. It's gonna be a big rush, so the thing is gonna be active from the first to the end of the 5 rounds. Just don't try to not giving him ability to reset. So just fight.
And
for sure. The thing is, I mean, it's gonna be a big deal for me as well for him. But at the time, we are here for something. So we're here for the show, and the competition is gonna be at its maximum.
And you and Bader seem to have a bit of animosity for one another after the last bout. What are some things you do or tell yourself to avoid fighting with emotion and to stick to the game plan?
No, the thing has been a while. I used to avoid those things. I didn't have anything, against him, but I was quite frustrated to not be able to explain and be here. I didn't have the ability to express myself. So fortunately, I did the last, I should say, the last few weeks, even yesterday. So yeah, now I can be here. But it was a big decision to be shut off.
Tony?
Hi, Cheick. Hope you're well. My question's just around France in embracing MMA. So I just wondered your thoughts on how you've seen the country grow as the likes of Bellator are bringing more events over. Have you seen a huge sort of growth in fandom from people on the street sort of noticing you more and the likes?
Yeah, just like it's just a regular. It's just a regular action. Today, all the fine supporters, fighters in France used to live, those moments, that sport, as ever. So, and to me, the fact to have that here, it's just a normality. It's a normality and a great opportunity as well to show to the world that we're still in the game. Even if we used to be just legalized, few months ago, even a couple of years ago, but we are here now. So let's do this.
And you turn 47 in a few weeks. Is having the Bellator Heavyweight Championship your perfect birthday present?
Oh yes, it will be. But it will be quite crazy, but yes. At the time, for sure, I'm not thinking about what I will do about my age. It's just about the path, So.
Carissa?
Mr. Kongo, thank you for Mr. Cheick, thank you for being here today to speak with us. My question for you is, what is your mindset going into this second bout with your opponent for this main event, and what would it mean for you to win the World Heavyweight Championship in your hometown of France?
So what does it mean? It means war, first of all, and a really good satisfactions. Because for me, every fight is a competition. So I'm not in the game just to be fancy, to be recognized, to be famous. First of all, it's a competition. For sure, at the end, you just look it up about the payday and whatever. But to me, it's a competition. I'm here as a competitor, and I'm here to achieve some really good performance and put that on my status. That's it.
And once you win the World Heavyweight Championship, who would you like to see rise up in the rankings to face you?
I mean, technically, I don't care about who's coming next. So, first of all, it's about Bader, and that's it.
Go to Dylan.
Hey there, Cheick. I appreciate you making some time. I'm just curious about the dynamics leading into this one, because when we were speaking ahead of the Haratonov matchup, it didn't seem like you were as sure you would be getting the championship opportunity. It seemed like there was some level of frustration. How happy are you that you are now in this spot and the bout was set up for the title?
No, for sure. From them, it's better. It's better. Still have a bitter taste, but it's still good. I'm good. Finally we make it. I didn't have to use that long road to achieve more activities. So it was a really good, really good opportunity to be here today. So and now, because I used to, I was waiting for that moment for a moment. So I have to give the best. Today, I don't have anything to prove. Just try to do the work as I used to do, and that's it.
And I'm curious because when you initially fought Ryan Bader, just the nature of how the fight ended there, it seems like there was bad blood kind of after the fact there. Is there still a level of like personal animosity leading into this rematch, or is it just more about the competition now?
No, it's always been a competition. The thing is, I let the trash talking and the whatever, the blood on the side. But if it was the blood, it was just concerning, his behaving. He didn't do very well, one, and he was claiming like, oh, I didn't do anything, CCC, blah blah blah, and recently he used to assume, oh, I probably did it, but if I did, it was an accident. It wasn't on purpose, and he was the only one to be here about what he did. But you never hear me saying anything like that, just talking about what's happened during the fight, except on my social network. So for sure, nobody used to believe or think about things like that could happen because, you have, for sure more fan base than me and all stupid people, talking shit all the time. But yeah. And yeah, it was just frustrating. But as a big guy, it's not for sure the thing. The good thing is I'm not fighting only in a cage, so life is a fight. So and as I used to listen how to perform in that way, I didn't pay attention. Just keep doing what I have to do, and that's it. I won't keep any stuff annoying me or bothering me. But for sure today it's better. Yeah, it's better.
All right, we'll take just one or two more here. Sean?
Hi, Cheick. Sean Sheehan here from SevereMMA.com. You hold the record for the most heavyweight fights in Bellator history, and you're also in the top 10 for the most heavyweight fights in UFC history. You've spoken today a lot about pride. How proud does that make you feel, the longevity that you've had in the heavyweight division, which isn't that common?
Thank you very much for those words. But to me, it means like I did a really good job, for sure, and as usual, I used to get some frustrations and disappointment, but, as a human being, as I used to say, I have to keep my heads up and keep going. So no matter what, for sure, I can make everyone happy, but no, to me, it's great. It just proves, with the hard work and consistent, you can reach the top. But for sure, for some people who used to reach the sport recently, never knew or didn't pay attention about those details. But anyway, no, honestly, yes, it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling as well, and also every time when I look at myself in the mirror, and think about who I am, and see the way I look like, it's a really good proud.
How do you think your style has changed over the years? Because everyone, remembers that crazy Pat Barry fight, but that was 11 years ago at this stage, and then we kind of see you wrestling more now. How do you think your style has changed, and where do you see yourself right now? What, if you were to describe your fighting style right now, what do you think it is?
No, honestly, my style is the same. The good thing with that is I used to handle and taking care of my my past injuries, so it give me more mobility, more ability to handle, position myself on the ground game that people never used to expect. So that's the reason. If I didn't know as well how to fight as a MMA competitor, for sure my record would be really low. For the good status. But The good thing is I always have the to train in advance, just to react and anticipate some actions, to put myself in trouble. So thanks God, I was good enough to read those sentence. But yes, that's what it is. But people think like, oh, you know what? He just, I mean, he's working with the best because he have that leg. No, I'm just working with the best because I need to get people to reactivate the machine. I work with the best because I used to be injured pretty bad, and I had to get back on track. And that those things used to be set perfectly. So today, I keep performing, keep improving, keep learning, because we always learning every day. Like even in the sports, in our regular life, in a different horizons, we're still performing and learning. So, and I like it, and I'm blessed for that. Thanks God. So,
All right. Thank you very much, Cheick. Appreciate your time. We'll be joined next by Mike Shipman.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
We're now being joined by Mike Shipman.
hello.
We'll take our first question from Dylan Rush. Dylan, your line is live.
Hey, Mike, thanks for taking the time. You fought last in October, winning the belt by unanimous decision despite entering the cage with a small fracture in your foot. Can we assume you're fully healthy headed into Friday?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're always going to take some knocks and in training camp, but fortunately, yeah, I'm healthy this time. No fractures, nothing major. So ready to go.
And you were victorious in each of your first 4 Bellator bouts before dropping 2 of the last 3. Did you make any conscious changes to your mindset or training camp in an attempt to get back on that winning path?
Yeah, I did. Spoken about it a bit before. It's kind of just, for one thing, kind of managing my health a bit better, and just making sure that I'm doing all the right things outside of training to make sure that I'm recovering as best as I possibly can, rather than just training hard in the actual sessions. And then, yeah, the other thing is just like you kind of get a bit of a kick up the arse, and you have to remind yourself like why you do it in the first place. And the reason I do this is because I love to fight, and that wasn't really evident in those 2 performances you mentioned. I was too focused on an outcome rather than the process, and as a result, especially the Fabian fight, to be honest, as a result, I wasn't enjoying myself while I was in there, and I think that's an important factor for me. If I'm enjoying myself while I'm in there, it allows me to kind of flow, and the performance will take care of itself.
Paul?
Oh, Paul Casanova, EDF Sports. Thank you for giving us the time today. I want to get back a little bit into the training. Can you talk a little bit, since you had that injury and you did get that good victory? What have you done to really, do better training, more in your training? Have you did anything different this time around?
The training's like I said, that I've always worked hard and dedicated to the training. My kind of issue in previous years was making sure I take care of myself in between the sessions, so that I'm recovering correctly between the sessions, with my rest and my nutrition, and particularly doing a lot more kind of like mobility and injury prevention work. So it's kind of like I'm on the wrong side of 30 now. So when you're in your 20s, you get a little injury or something, you have to take a bit of time off. It doesn't seem like the end of the world, but now I'm getting to a point where it's like I'm past halfway on my career now, and like I said, I haven't fought since October 2020. So when you've got to take that kind of time out, it weighs on you. I've got stuff I want to do in my career, and now each year seems more precious than the last, and I can't afford to be taking years out. So yeah, I've taken the kind of the injury prevention, the recovery more seriously, and as always, I'm working hard and killing it in the gym, because that's where you can't cut corners. That's where you can't kind of take it easy. You've got to put yourself in those dangerous positions, and those fighting positions, because it's a dangerous sport. But where you can minimize the risk is in between the sessions. You can take care of your body.
Santiago?
Hi, Mike. Greetings from Amsterdam. Thank you for the time. It's a massive week for the London shoot fighters, with, of course, you on the main card on Friday, and next week in London, MVP in a title fight main event. Could you feel this in the gym as well, Mike?
Yeah, it's always exciting getting ready for fights together, because then you're peaking around the same sort of time. We've also got Alfie Davis on the London card as well. So yeah, obviously it would have been great to be on the card with those guys, but to be honest, I'm grateful to be fighting a week earlier, because now I can do my thing, enjoy my fight, and then I can fully invest in enjoying their fights. It's going to be massive. I can't wait.
Yeah, massive. You have been with the promotion since 2016, and you won almost all of your fight, and almost all of them even by finish. How have you experienced these 6 years with the company?
Yeah, I've enjoyed it. Obviously, there's been some frustration with all the COVID business and the lockdowns that kind of I ended up on the back burner for a while, through no fault of anyone's. It just happened. And then on top of that, I had a surgery on my knee, and then there's a couple of other mix-ups. So, I mean, I was off to a good start, you said, but then I'm looking forward to picking that momentum up again, because I feel like since 2019, it's kind of it has slowed down a bit for me. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm not getting any younger. I'm probably past halfway in my career, so I've got to start racking up some wins, getting some momentum if I'm going to accomplish the things that I think I can in this sport.
Sean?
Hi, Mike. Sean Sheehan here from SevereMMA.com. You spoke a lot after the Fabian Edwards fight about judging and about the judging in that fight. I was wondering if you've gone and kind of looked into that a little bit more since that fight, and obviously since kind of the uproar after that. And is there anything you've kind of learned about it or adjusted the way you fight because of that?
Not really. I mean, the judging was the judging. I wasn't happy with my performance regardless. I make no bones about that. That was yeah, I wasn't happy with my performance. I wasn't enjoying myself while I was in there. I wasn't doing the stuff I could and should have been doing. So that's on me. Having said that, you can score the first round either way. Not a lot happened. You can give that either way. You can only score the second round to me, and you score the third round to Fabian. So I understand one of the judges gave me the first round. Sorry, yeah. One of the judges gave me the first round. The other two gave the other round. My issue was that second round, and you can't control it. It's outside my control. I'm not gonna get bogged down on it. So it was just seeing that bit of bad judging, give him every round, which I couldn't wrap my head around. I could see the point of view where you could give him round one. So I can see the point of view where he might win a split. I disagree with it, but that would be, in my opinion, that would still be a fair judging. What's not fair was that round two. And yeah, I'm not I'm not going to go on about it, but because obviously the things I can control is my performance, and I wasn't happy with my performance regardless. I didn't show what I could show, and that's the main thing. That's the main thing for me to focus on. The things within my control. The things within my control is taking care of those processes, enjoying myself while I'm in there, and just expressing myself. And then the rest will happen.
I want to ask you about the performance in a second, but maybe another thing you can control is the fact that there's a UK card next week and you're on a card here in Paris. Is that a little bit frustrating for you, or are you kind of happy to fight anywhere or fight away from the UK?
Yeah, well, right now, like I said, it's been a little bit of a layoff for me. So right now, I'm happy to fight anywhere. Obviously, it's always great to fight. It's great to fight in Wembley. It's great to have the home crowd. It's just around the corner from me. And I fought on most of the Bellator London cards to this point. But I've never fought in Paris before. It's in a new place. It's great. And I get to fully enjoy my teammates fighting next week without thinking about my own fight. So there's pluses to it as well. And part of the appeal of fighting for a big show in like Bellator is that you get to go and see places and get to fight in different environments. So yeah, I'm happy.
And the last one for me, just on your opponent, I've been obviously watching some of his fights. He's obviously a very quick striker, has a takedown as well, has a good bottom game, has wins by triangle. What do you see in him, and how do you think you shape up in terms of your game versus his game?
Yeah, well, what I see in him is I see an opportunist, and he'll go for submissions, and that makes him dangerous. But maybe not as methodical as some. But so at the same time, it makes him dangerous. But on the flip side, there's advantages. There's things he doesn't do as well as he could. Like I don't feel like he doesn't necessarily have the best takedown defense because he is looking for those submissions. I feel like I'm a more balanced fighter than him. I think in terms of footwork, he'll have a hard time finding me on the feet, and I think I can get to him on the feet as well.
Jay?
Hey, Mike, welcome back. You talked just there a little bit about Gregory, and I'm curious, he's going to be fighting at home. He's going to have the crowd in his corner. And do you relish that opportunity at all to go in and kind of play spoiler? Yeah,
sure. Like, I mean, my primary concern is the guy across from me. If I can get a reaction out of the crowd, then great. It's just that's just some added energy. I've not really thought too much about being the spoiler or being the hero, what role I'm playing, so much as just going out there and just enjoying myself. Hopefully, I win the crowd over with a good performance.
Absolutely. And, you were off for a while. And, while you were away, actually, Dalton Rasta called you out. And I'm wondering if you saw his call out and if that's a fight that would interest you down the line.
Yeah, we did see it. I saw it, sent to my coaches, and we asked Bellator about it as well. So that's definitely something that that I'd be interested in. I think he's ranked now, and during my inactivity, I've been dumped out of the rankings. So yeah, sure. Anyone in the rankings is great, and I think he may have bit off a bit more than he can chew, but I'll be happy to meet him in the Bellator cage.
Good stuff. Well, best of luck this Friday.
Thank you very much.
All right, last one here, Tony.
Hey, Mike. Hope you're well. I hope I'm not repeating this question because I had a bit of a technical difficulty, so apologies if I am. But I just wondered your thoughts. Mousasi seems to be lapping the division and looking for new challengers. I mean, does that play a part in your approach to fights? With thinking a couple of really decisive finishes can get you on his radar to potentially slipstream straight into a title shot.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like Mousasi's one of the greatest fighters in the world, in my opinion. He's a bit of a legend of the sport, and he's not going to be around forever. And I really want to be able to have the opportunity to fight him while he still is. I mean, what a name to have on your resume. So that's definitely something I'm conscious of. I know he doesn't look like he's slowing down at all. So hopefully I got time before he sails off into the sunset with all his belts and money. But yeah, that is definitely something I'd really want to do. And like I said earlier to the guys about, there's things I want to do with my career. And that's kind of given me a bit of a kick up the arse. And that's one of the things I want to do with my career is I'd love to fight Mousasi. So yeah, what I need to do to get that done is put on some performances, put some people away. And yeah, you're right. After a couple of good fights, like I should be right there, because he's done a bit of he's doing a bit of a number on the middleweight division.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Mike. Appreciate your time. We'll be joined next by Lorenz Larkin.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
All right, we're now being joined by Lorenz Larkin. If you have a question, please press the raise hand button. We will start here with Carissa. Carissa, your line is live.
Thank you for joining us today, Mr. Larkin. My question to you is, you're currently number 6 in the rankings. So how motivated are you in continuing to rise up in the rankings, and how hungry are you in, facing your opponent on Friday?
I'm not motivated at all about the rankings, so I don't care to go up or down in the rankings. To me, they're not official in the slightest bit. But other than that, I'm just trying to get this fight out of the way and get past my opponent and just keep working on this streak that I'm on.
And once you defeat your opponent on Friday, who would you like to face?
I'm not too sure. I just gotta get back with my camp and management and Bellator and just kind of go from there and look at the next date and who's available.
All right, we'll go to Mike.
Hey, Lorenz. With this great streak you have going on in your career right now at this stage of where you're at, a couple opponent changes. Is this an opportunity where you see not only to solidify yourself, obviously your ranking and your record speaks for itself, but facing a guy like Kyle Stewart making, his debut with the promotion, is this something that you like, the opportunity where you can get that finish and continue this streak and really send a message to those in the division?
Could you say that again? Your question? Sorry.
Yeah, is this fight against Kyle Stewart, is this an opportunity for you, given all the opponent changes that you've had and on this streak that you're in, a lot of decision victories throughout this streak? Is this an opportunity you see to get the finish and really send a message to your entire division?
I think just me fighting anybody, the message is out there. I'm pretty sure people know what I can do and what I'm capable of. I'd improved it time and time again. As far as Kyle Stewart, he, it's good for him because, he just got a last minute, call. But, for me, I'm taking him serious as if I was fighting for the belt. For him, it's a win-win. No matter how the fight goes, for me, it's expected for me to go in there and do work. So, there's nothing to take lightly and nothing to look like that, I'm going to run through this guy, and just take him lightly. I'm taking him as serious as if I was fighting for the belt.
Go to Sean. Sean?
Hi, sorry, can you hear me?
Yep.
Perfect. Lorenz, you're someone who has obviously fought at, you fought at different weight classes throughout your career at welterweight and at middleweight. Can you just tell us the difference for you between fighting at welterweight and middleweight, and which you prefer and what just the differences are?
I guess being able to eat more and a little bit more cheat meals. But even this fight, when we were scheduled for this fight, I had to slow down in camp, because I was kind of on the track to go to 70, so that's, I know I said that the last fight, but, as long as I stay active, me fighting at welterweight is very possible, so the next fight that I'm targeting is at welterweight. It's just that, with these I think I actually fought May 6th of last year. So, me having a year off of fighting, it's just, it's not good for me. So as long as I stay active and, then I can hit, be in welterweight, but like I was saying, when I was in this camp, kind of towards the end, I was getting too low, to the point where I was like, well, I need to keep on some of this weight. So, the plan is get this fight out of the way and get back to my division.
Is there anyone you're targeting in that division? Obviously, we have the interim title fight coming up next week. Would the winner of that be someone you'd like to face?
Am I able to face somebody like that? I'm not even ranked. I think I'm.
As you said, the rankings don't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't. But I mean, if they're going off of the rankings, I'm not even in the rankings in welterweight. So I don't know.
Do you feel like you're underrated? Because looking down through your record here, obviously the 5 wins in a row, but you've beaten the likes of Neil Magny, Masvidal, Robbie Lawler. I could go on and go on and go on. Do you think you're one of the most underrated fighters in the world at the moment?
Yeah, it just depends. I look at it like people who really know MMA, know who I am and I get the respect that I deserve. But as far as like a household and you're just average MMA fan, no, they're not going to know because, you know, I'm me, you know, I've been that way for years. I don't need to talk shit and try to sound corny and all the other things that fighters do. Yes. Does it work for some of them? Yes, it does. But, you know, I've been in this game for a while. I stayed true to myself, you know, and I've just been whooping ass. So, you know, as long as you can always look at my name and look at my track record, then, you know, that's all that I can expect from people.
Jay?
Hey, Lorenz, welcome back. You touched on this a little, but when it comes to Kyle Stewart, I mean, does this become more of a dangerous fight in the sense that, you know, he's fought in the UFC, yes, but he's not a household name. He's got nothing to lose here. And, you know, obviously that's going to motivate him, especially with your profile.
Oh, no, for sure. You know, these past two fights, well, not the past, but my last fight and this fight, you know, I've had, I think, four opponent changes. You know, I've had guys and then they would fall out and I had another guy and he'll fall out, you know. So I think I've had like either 4 or 3 opponent changes on each fight, my last fight and this fight, you know. So yes, it is dangerous for me, but you know, it's like if I can't fight somebody and I've been in camp and I've had a good camp and if I can't fight somebody who's just a last minute replacement or just a change up of opponent, like what the fuck am I doing here? You know what I mean? Like I'm a world-class fighter. I fought the best. As long as I'm in shape and my training has gone good, you know, why couldn't I fight anybody, you know, at a last minute replacement?
And when you talk about not caring about the rankings, I mean, a lot of fighters don't want to fight down in the rankings. They look at that number and see a stepping stone to the title. I mean, is this just a point in your career where, hey, I'll fight anyone? Or are you motivated more by bigger names? Or what's really driving you at this point?
My thing is just being active, you know, as far as the rankings and how I feel about them is just, it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? I fought one time in middleweight and I don't even know what I'm ranked. I think, what am I ranked, 5 or 6 or 7, 6? How did I pass up all these, the other 4 guys? No, those 4 guys should be pissed the fuck off because I only fought one guy and I fought a guy who Bellator released. So he wasn't even in the rankings at the time. So how did I even become in the rankings to begin with?
Kobe?
Hi, Lorenz. Kobe from the Pro Sports Podcasters in Toronto. Love the cat, buddy.
Oh, yeah. There you go.
Just had to ask you. You fought at both middleweight, welterweight. You say it's just as easy for you to get down to welterweight as it is middleweight, basically. Do you feel stronger at middleweight, or does it not really change for you in the cage?
I don't think it changes for me. I just think as far as the body types that I'm going against are, you know, obviously different. You know, the middleweights, you know, they pack on some pounds, you know, after I kind of figured that with Rafael, because he wasn't, when we weighed in, I was like, oh, it's not bad. Then, you know, fight day, I was like, oh shit, you know, he packed on a little bit, you know, but you know, I fought shit, you know, like as far as my career, you know, I fought at heavyweight, you know, so it's like, it's not that bad.
Okay. And I mean, fight camps are 90% about just getting in shape. The other 10% is preparing for an opponent. You've had a couple of last minute replacements. You're more of a proactive fighter anyways. So does anything change in your approach in a fight like this, or you just do what you do?
Nothing changes, man. We like, and it's pretty accurate what you said, you know, in the camp, you know, we tailor a couple of things, but the camp is never based around the opponent, you know. You know, if we're fighting a wrestler, yes, we're going to add in some more wrestling, but you know, if we're fighting a striker, we're still having wrestling in there. It's just not as much attention to it, you know. So this fight was just more so, as long as I'm in tuned and my coaches have got me my reaction times and my IQ up there, you know, the camp is where it's at. You know, it doesn't matter the opponent change or anything like that.
And we'll take our last question here from Dylan.
Hi there, Lorenz. I was just kind of curious because like you're getting ready to compete and it'll be just one day short of a year since you last competed, and you talk about wanting to be more active. Like, is there an ideal amount of bouts you would like to get this year?
Yes, I would like to get another bout at least before August or the first week of August, and then aim towards December. So I would like 3 this year in that timeline.
Yeah, for sure. I get what you're saying there. Sounds like a good timeline for sure. But just the timeline of your career overall, you've got to do a lot of really cool stuff, and getting to, you know, fight in France here. Like, what's the thoughts on that there and everything?
It's great. You know, I've seen a lot. You know, my whole team has seen a lot. We've ventured out, and it's been good. I like Paris.
All right. Thank you, Lorenz. Appreciate your time. You will be joined next by Alex Polizzi.
Recording stopped.
If you have questions for Alex, please press the raise hand button.
Recording in progress.
Okay.
All right, we're now being joined by Alex Polizzi. We'll take our first question from Santiago. Santiago, your line is live.
Hi, Alex. Greetings from Amsterdam. Thank you for the time. What was your first reaction when you heard Yoel Romero was looking for an opponent? Did it took you long to decide you wanted to fight Yoel in Europe? Because this is a very big name in MMA, right?
Yeah. You know, I've said before that I don't really like to do a lot of research on my opponents, but to not know Yoel Romero is sticking your head under a rock. I was really excited. My manager initially came to me and said, hey, they're just looking for a fill-in for Paris. We're not sure on the opponent yet, but you know, after a couple more texts, it got revealed that it was Yoel, and short chance opportunity that I know people have been saying, why is he taking that? Yoel Romero in Paris. How do you pass that opportunity up?
You are coming off that insane comeback win against Jose Augusto. You won a lot of fans for yourself that day, and your durability is out of question after a performance like that. Did this fuel your confidence level even more, Alex?
Yeah, for sure. You know, a win is always good. We can always take things away from fights even that we win. I appreciate having the fans, but, you know, looking back, maybe next time, try not to get flying kneed, if we can avoid that. And maybe don't get caught in an arm bar while I'm still scrambling to find my way out of the woodwork. But the toughness is definitely there, and I think it showed that, you know, any opponents in the future, you're going to have to do a lot more than knock me out completely to finish the fight.
from Ken.
Hey, Alex, this is Kay Williams for Ken Chronicles Media. Let's talk about the mental preparation for this fight. And have you added any additional workout regimens leading up to Friday's match?
You know, short notice fight, it's a little bit late to be adding on extra workout regimens, but as far as mental stuff, game plan, I have an awesome crew back in Las Vegas in Extreme Couture and a lot of guys to bounce ideas off of and to gain insight into the fight game. So yeah, we've been working on some stuff, and as always, I'm looking to incorporate more striking into my wrestling and work wrestling into my striking, and just become a better all-around MMA fighter. So, you know, nothing too specific, but just working on the same sort of stuff and blending my styles into something that keeps the fans excited.
Thank you for your time.
Kobe.
Hi, Alex. Kobe from the Pro Sports Podcasters. Good to talk to you again, buddy.
Hey, Kobe.
Last we spoke, you were going to get yourself a poutine. Did you get that?
Say again?
Last we spoke, you were going to get yourself a poutine. Did you get that?
I never got my poutine. I'm a little disappointed about it because now you reminded me. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm gonna have to find myself some fries and some gravy. I don't know. Is that a thing I can get over here in France? I think it might just be a Canadian thing. Well, I'm gonna look around and see. I got a couple days after the fight, so we'll see if we can find something good.
Now, getting a chance to fight an MMA legend like Yoel Romero, it's got to be huge for you. But on top of that, he's also a wrestling legend. How exciting is that for you to face him in the cage?
Again, really exciting. You know, we had some interviewing stuff yesterday, talking about, you know, some of the top contenders at light heavyweight, and we're all a bunch of wrestlers, you know, wrestling heavy backgrounds, guys who just do it a lot in an MMA cage. And it's, you know, it's an exciting time, and it means a lot, you know, coming from that wrestling background and to be facing an opponent like Yoel Romero, who has that pedigree, is awesome. And it's exciting in that, you know, I think sometimes when I end up fighting guys, they see, oh, he has the wrestling pedigree, I'm going to try to stay away and keep at arm's length. But if a guy's a wrestler, it makes me excited because then he's not going to move away and we can get to the fun part right away.
Right on.
Sean?
Hi, Alex. Sean Sheehan here from SevereMMA.com. How much notice did you actually get for this fight? And what was the level of, I suppose, fitness and the level of, maybe not preparation for this fight, but were you in a camp or were you in anything like that?
So after the last fight, took a little bit of time off, recover. And then, you know, we're right back at it. And if you're at Extreme Couture, there's no pussyfooting around when it comes back to training. You know, we're right back into the fire, getting things ready to go. Plenty of guys there, bunch of killers. Everybody's getting ready for a fight. So whatever you're willing to put in is the output that you're going to get out. So yeah, we've been training, but as far as time known about the fight, it wasn't this past Saturday because I flew. Yeah, it's been just a little less than 2 weeks now. The fight itself, really exciting to have news and to get back into the cage like that. But as far as the fitness level goes, yeah, we're right where we need to be.
You spoke about Yoel and his move, obviously, from wrestling into mixed martial arts. And anyone watching Yoel over the last few years, we haven't seen much wrestling because it's been a lot of striking and been a lot of, you know, kind of waiting to land that big shot. How well do you think he's actually transitioned his wrestling game into mixed martial arts?
You know, I've said it before. I'm not real big on watching my opponent's film. I'm here to fight my fight. I do know that the pedigree, just because everybody knows Yoel. But I don't think that's something that's gonna go away. You know, once you've done those drills thousands and thousands and thousands of times for years and years, it's in there. And maybe he hasn't been using it. Maybe he's felt like he hasn't needed to use it. But I think with the game plan that I'm gonna bring, I'm gonna have to he's going to have to shake off the cobwebs and start using it a little bit.
The last one for me is there a reason you don't watch your opponents? Is it something you leave to your coaches, or have you done it in the past and it didn't work out well? What's the reason you don't do that?
No, I've left it to my coaches. I've been pretty consistent in MMA with not doing it, but anyone who watched me wrestle in college, I had a kind of a big breakthrough in my sophomore year when I realized that I found a little more success when I would wrestle my match. And I guess the simplest way to put it is I'm thinking about what I'm going to do and less about what they're going to do. So it helps me stay consistent and perpetuate my skill set and my will into the game, as opposed to watching out for what they're going to do. Does that make sense? I think so.
It does, yeah.
All right, Jay.
Hey, Alex, just a quick one from me. You know, when Bellator gives you a call and gives you an opportunity like this, I'm just curious how much of a boost in the arm it is for you, knowing that they think highly enough of you to kind of give you someone like Yoel Romero.
It's huge, and I've said it before. I mean, we're all top tier competitors, and I mean, mixed martial arts isn't a sport where we have a set schedule where, you know, you're going against this person this week and then 10 weeks later you're gonna. No, we fight based on when we're getting a fight and when the promotion calls, and ultimately it's up to fans enjoying the matches that we put on. And I think after that last one, I got a lot of positive feedback on my short little corner of social media. And, you know, people calling me and people messaging me. And so I think that Bellator saw that and said, hey, we got to get this guy more fights. People like watching him do his gnarly thing out there and work some wrestling that's maybe a little less maybe a little less traditional, and use some techniques that are just exciting for the fans. So yeah, excited to be here, excited to be in Paris, and ready to put on a fight for the fans.
Good stuff. And that's just a quick follow-up. I mean, when you talk about being exciting for the fans and putting on that show, I mean, how much of that plays into your game plan in your mind going into a fight, or is that just a byproduct of your style?
I think it's just a byproduct of my style. You know, I think it translates well to a lot of other stuff. If you watch anyone who's good at what they do and enjoy what they do, you can take some joy out of watching them do it. You know, any artist. It just so happens that my art form involves punching other people and trying to hurt them real bad, but I'm having a blast doing it. And I'm just hoping that the fans and the people at home are getting at least half the joy that I'm getting out of being in there.
Absolutely. Well, looking forward to work art this Friday.
Dylan?
Hey there, Alex. I appreciate you making some time.
Dylan, always a pleasure. I recognize that voice. How we doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. It seems like you're doing even better, though. You got some great training there with Corey Anderson at Extreme Couture from what I was seeing there. That must be great work. I mean, a guy who's right there in the mix for contending for that light heavyweight title next. Like, can you speak to the training experience there?
Absolutely. I mean, again, got to give a shout out to Extreme Couture in Las Vegas. It's a gym that everybody knows, and being as such, you know, everybody passes through. We get tons of guys, tons of killers, top level guys from across the promotions. And I just got lucky enough that Corey swung through on a couple wrestling days, and we got to bounce some ideas off each other and scrap a little bit. So really a guy who just enjoys fighting like me couldn't ask for a better opportunity there.
Yeah, and you also, just a quick follow-up here, because you've been speaking about the pedigree of Yoel Romero and everything like that. Do you think a statement win over Yoel Romero will garner you that coveted Arby's sponsorship you've been looking for?
Oh man, I think that's going to involve a little more social media legwork. That I'm real good at punching people, but I'm still working on the Twitter fingers. So you know, maybe if something cool happens this Friday night, maybe it'll be enough so that I can propel myself off that and maybe I don't have to rely so much on savvy internet work, but it's an uphill battle, man. They got the meats. They're just waiting for me.
I think it's inevitable. Yeah, thanks so much for the insights, man.
We'll take just a couple more here. Tony?
Hi, Alex. Hope you're well.
Tony,
if you look over your left shoulder right now, you can see yourself on the screen. I just wanted to get your feelings on being, having your face plastered all over the promotion for this show for the first time, and how have you actually had the time to actually take it in and think of what a great opportunity this is?
It's to answer the latter part of your question first, to take it all in, short notice fight, and we're kind of focused on the task ahead of us right now. So I'd have to say no. It hasn't really hit me that, with all this promotion and being on posters and whatnot, but and maybe it will, but I think that it's important to remember that, outside of all the marketing and TV spots and, big time, you're on the main card or whatever, we're just a bunch of dudes beating up each other in a cage. Like, you can't get too high on your laurels about it.
And we've got a big light heavyweight fight taking place next weekend as well, with Lyoto Machida and Fabian Edwards. I just wanted to get your thoughts on how you see that fight going, and the potential of you getting past Yoel without overlooking him and potentially fighting the winner of that fight.
Future fights, always exciting prospect to deal with, but right now we're real laser focused on the fight at hand. And I know it's cliche, but I'm going to be honest, I don't plan anything for after the fights. People are like, hey, what are you going to do next week? I'm like, I don't know. I'm fighting on Friday. I might die in that cage. So let's not plan anything too far ahead.
I'll take one from Luis here.
Hi, Alex. Luis Cote here from Lucha Libre Online. And my question for you is, what problems you think you're gonna show to Yoel?
What problems am I going to present to Yoel? Well, I think that Yoel's been at the game a while. People kind of know his style. I know he's heavy pedigree, big, heavy hitter, great wrestler. But, while he's been keeping an inhuman amount of athleticism to stay in the game as long as he has, father time catches us all. I'm going to be trying to work on him and wear down that gas tank, make him really, really feel the years, really feel my pressure on him. In terms of wrestling, in terms of some dirty boxing. And we're just going to wear and tear on him until an opportunity presents itself to maybe look for a submission or look for an opening that we can finish the fight.
We'll take our last question here from Valerie. All right. No Valerie.
Valerie?
All right. No Valerie. We'll take one from Mike Pendleton. Last question from Mike.
Hey, Alex, we talked a lot about your opponent today. We talked a lot about your background and your team over at Extreme Couture. I'm just curious from the other side of it, the short notice, opponent against Yoel Romero. What does your team at Extreme Couture, all the killers in there, all the world-renowned coaches in there, what did they do for you in the preparation, not the technical preparation, but the mental and just the overall preparation for an opponent like Yoel?
That's an interesting question, and I mean, while everybody there has similar situation, everybody's big promotions, they've taken on short notice fights, so everybody's really willing to go the extra distance and help a fellow teammate out, making things happen. You mentioned besides the technical, I would say the other thing is that, there's some folks out there who says a last minute fight against a man as dangerous as Yoel? What are you thinking? But everyone at Extreme is outside of just the technical preparation is, you know, let's go, let's get this, let's get after it. That's an awesome opportunity. And it's encouraging to have guys in my corner that have that faith in me, that believe in me, to be able to make something like what's going to happen Friday happen, hopefully in my favor.
All right. Thank you very much, Alex. Appreciate your time, sir.
Thank you.
Recording stopped.
Next up, we'll be joined by Lewis Long.
Recording in progress.
All right, now being joined by Lewis Long, we'll take our first question here from Santiago. Santiago, your line is live.
Hi, Louis. Greetings from Amsterdam. Thank you for the time. You are coming off two sensational first round finishes. How does it feel to have this kind of momentum going for yourself?
Well, you can't argue with it, can you? You know, the great thing is it's a bit annoying, actually. If I'm saying great, I mean annoying. The fact that, you know, I spend all this bloody time training and I'm just in the first round, you know, especially the last one, 48 seconds. I mean, as I said, it's frustrating. You know, I train hard, I want to fight, you know, and these people are getting folded up by me, you know, and it's a little bit unfair on me, I think, when I look at it, you know.
Louis, how is the situation in Wales? Because with also Brad Jones in the promotion now, an event in Wales could become reality soon with Bellator exploring Europe again. How much would that mean to you?
That'd be great. And it's the first thing I'm going to call for after the fight. I know Brett Jones, I believe, is fighting in Dublin. I'm not sure if that's released or whatever, but I've seen him posting up. So he'll get a win there. I'll get a win today. And then hopefully we'll both get some big names in the capital, Cardiff. And then we can fly the dragon.
What do you know about your opponent? And have you fought people on their own territory before, or is this the first time for you, Lewis?
I love fighting away. I like traveling. You know, I like getting away, and I like punching people. So I mean, it's a combined thing. Yeah, you know. Yeah, of course, I've watched him. I've looked at his previous fights, and yeah, I mean, I'm happy to fight him. I accepted him within seconds of watching a bit of his tape. I'm confident, as I'm sure he'll be confident. But you know, I think we all know who's going to be the winner in this one. Me.
Good luck on fight night, sir.
Oh, bye.
Sean?
Hi, Lou. You spoke a little bit about Welsh MMA there. What a time, you know, for you being in MMA for a long time. There's a lot of Welsh people coming through, you know, the lads you mentioned there, and Jack Shore and others as well. How big is it for you as someone who maybe, you know, was there before a lot of those guys and coming up through the scene? How great is it for you to see the you know, where Welsh MMA has gotten to?
Well, I'd liken the MMA scene when I started to the Wild West. I mean, the name and your opponent and the record, they might not even match. You know, the guy might not have the same name when you turn up, or might not even be the same person. You know, to now you got real proper organized events, and you know, like myself, as you've named, like Jack Shaw, things, and Brett John's fighting on these worldwide promotions. It's always been, you know, like a dream. As I said, my dream has always been to travel and fight, and you know, I'm a martial artist, and I've always wanted. I've always wanted to display my skills and be on the shows against the best people I can fight. And I believe like Welsh MMA has grown out to such a point, we don't need to leave the country. You know, you look at the grappling and boxing credentials of some of the fighters in Wales. It's absolutely astounding, really, to think about such a small country and the level we've got. You know, before everyone used to go traveling around to try and find. You know, used to go to America, and now you got it all in sunny Wales. Sunny Wales, that's right.
Beautiful. There's been a lot of talk in the UK and Irish scene over the last few years about, you know, Bellator versus Cage Warriors and kind of this scene. And I'm not going to ask you which you prefer in a Bellator media call here, but what are the differences, do you think, as someone who's fought many times against, you know, the likes of Paul Redmond, Shea Mills, Ryan Scope, Roberto Saldic, although Scope was outside of Cage Warriors, my apologies. What's the difference between Bellator and Cage Warriors? And what you know, at this stage of your career as well, being in Bellator, is that the best for you now?
I can afford to feed my family.
Is that it simply? Like, so for all those years, was it a case of just fighting to fight?
Cage Warriors is a great organization, and it's great to build people up, and they take people over to certain organizations. But I've always had to work. I've always had to have a sideline. I've always had to struggle. Now I can focus on fighting. I mean, I struggled for years. Now I'm able to have a family. And now I'm able to put food on the table. And now I'm able to fight, you know, in different countries against, you know, different people and get paid. Yeah. And like, as I say, you know, if you think this guy as well is going to take the bread off my family's table, it's not happening. Yeah. So, you know, before I used to fight for the hope it would be something, and I even mentally retired before Bellator picked me up. And now they've done it. You can see the talent that would have been wasted just because of a monetary thing.
Do you feel like it's a new start to your career now, kind of, that you can afford to, I don't know if you're doing it full time, but you can afford to take yourself to the next level, maybe so you can get to that next level in Bellator? Do you think there'll be massive jumps in your game over the next while?
100%. There's no question. Like I said, I've always had to work. You know, I even to the point I opened up a gym myself to try and fund my own training and my own coach's expenses. But even then, I started to work 4 nights a week, which obviously isn't really conducive to having a great athletic career when you're shattered all the time. But what it does give you is, like now, gives you the opportunity. When I got the opportunity, is I'm going to grab it with 2 hands, and I'm just going to keep fucking bitches up. You know, simple as that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Life is easy now. Well, fighting's easy. Life is hard. But back then, you know, you getting paid 500 quid to a grand to have a fight, you know, that's going to take years off your life potentially, you know. And now again, you know, I said, I've got a family now. I've got to be able to feed them. I was going to retire. But what a shame that would have been, ladies and gentlemen.
Go to Tony.
Lou, hope you're well. Firstly, just wanted to congratulate you and your significant other on the birth of your child. Just wondered if that's going to present us with a new Lou Long coming into this fight with some extra dad strength potentially.
Right. I tell you something that's changed. Everyone says your life's going to change when you have a kid, and of course it does. But I've always thought, as I said, it was never for the money. It was because I sort of enjoyed it. Now, with a family, I really, I want to hurt someone. I don't know whether it's the fact that I got, you know, a business, family, a wife, a child that I need to get away and punch someone, or is it just my mentality has now changed to the fact of it's not just a sort of a fun thing to do. It's a way of me funding my family's future. You know, I feel real difference in my mental attitude. You know, it's as I said, I used to do this for fun, and now I want to do it. Now I want to hurt someone. I'm scared. You know, no, you know. It gives you. It does. When people say it changes you, it's given me my reason to fight, as they say. You know, a different angle on it. Yeah, life's hard. You know, with the baby and stuff like that. But as well as that, I know I'm gonna go out there and put on the performance of my life, earn more money, take it home, enjoy it with my wife and family. She's not my wife, Emily and my child. Have a pint and enjoy that time. You know, and set up our lives for the future. There's just no messing now. I'm fucked off. I don't want to hurt someone. Like.
Thanks for your time.
Sorry about the language.
We'll give Valerie another shot. Valerie.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Can you hear me?
I can. Can you hear me?
Oh, great. Okay. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me to ask you some questions. I'm Valerie from Val TV in Las Vegas. Well,
Hey.
congratulations. We'd like to know, did you make any changes in your training, your team, to prepare for the fight in Paris?
Yeah, I started traveling around a little bit more. Obviously, because me and partner have a discussion about, you know, the fact that I got to sleep, I got to train, and I got to mix things up. So I did a little bit of traveling as well. So I'd have 2-3 nights away a week, training in different places. So I was able to, you know, focus a little bit more solely on training, not just changing the dirty nappies, and you know, because I do try, you know, she's got it all in hand, but I do like to take the reins and clean the nappy every now and then. That's surprisingly not mine.
Absolutely. And what do you contribute to your success to be on this card in Paris at Bellator?
Years of goddamn hard work. I've not stopped. I've not even through the pregnancy, even through Christmas. I've never stopped. I work hard all the time. I'm a workaholic. I don't stop. You know, the day after my baby was born, I was in the gym. I just wait. I can't sit still. You know, the baby wasn't doing anything. But I sound horrible, but you know what I mean? You go to work, you can't stop, you know. Got to get better all the time.
We'll take our last question here from Mike Pendleton.
Hey, Mike.
Oh, all right, no Mike. Ken, your line is live.
Hey, what's going on, Lewis? K. Williams for Ken Chronicles Media. You speak very confidently approaching your upcoming match. What are you going to do to ensure a victory in the cage?
Well, I've done it. I've done it years ago, I believe. I believe I won this fight many years ago. As I said earlier, I've never stopped working, and you know, I look at this. I could have had 6 months off and I still beat this guy. You know, I'm that much of a badass. I've worked so hard all my career, and now it's paying off. And I'm damned if I'm going to let it slip. You know, yes, he's going to be confident. Yes, he's coming off a couple of wins, but fuck, he ain't going to stop me, man. He's not going to stop. Well, you're not going to stop me taking him down. All he's got is a puncher's chance in this. And you can't have a puncher's chance. You've got to be good everywhere. Yeah, I don't think this guy is nowhere near my level.
I love the confidence. Thank you for your time and good luck in the cage.
Always peace.
I appreciate the time, Lewis. Next up, we'll be joined by Pedro Carvalho.
Recording stopped.
If you've got a question for Pedro, you can press the raise hand button now.
Recording in progress.
All right, we're now being joined by Pedro Carvalho. We'll take our first question from Sean Sheehan.
Hi, Pedro. Sean Sheehan here from SevereMMA.com. The last time we spoke was after your last fight against Daniel Weichel, and it seemed like it was, you know, the happiest night of your life. You got this massive win against Weichel, and you're coming back here onto the next fight. Have you kind of rode the momentum of that one, you know, coming off of that, obviously that unbelievable night, and are bringing it the same kind of positivity into this one?
Oh, sorry, Pedro, you're muted. 1 second.
Check. Yo.
There you go.
Yeah, good to go. Yeah, so I always bring 100% positivity to all my fights. That's, you know, that's me. That's always been me all my entire life. You know, I always been confident and positive about everything in my life overall. Regard the Weichel fight, I see it as a different kind of stage thing. Like I needed a fight. I needed a win. You know, my career was. I was going through, like I've said in interviews before Weichel fight, I was going through the worst time of my career, you know, and I needed to overcome it, to show everyone, and especially to show myself how capable I am. That's why, you know, I didn't look for, you know, an easy opponent. I looked for one of the toughest in the division, and I needed that win. I got that win. And now it's kind of like I shook everything off, and I see now I'm kind of back again. I can, you know, be again me, you know, because of course, I had a ton of pressure going into that fight for not only the opponent that I had, but for the moment itself. I needed to win. It was like a kind of a win-win situation for me, and now, you know, I'm free from that. You know, I know I can go out there, perform. I can only focus on my skill set, and I know that I'm going out there and put on the best performance so far.
The last fight, you said that, you know, there was pressure now, but also it was in your adopted hometown, as you said, right where the bus dropped you off the first time you came to Ireland, outside the Tree Arena, against a name opponent like Daniel Weichel. Piotr's a little bit different, a very, very good fighter, but definitely not as known as Daniel Weichel, and unknown to many people in Paris as well, obviously away from either Portugal or Dublin. How kind of different is it? Is there a different sort of pressure here?
Yeah, to be honest, I'm kind of lucky that it's been on Paris, related to, you know, to Piotr. Piotr was like in the making of this fight, was my third opponent. You know, I have 3 sets of opponent. You know, one of them was a rank fighter, but and it didn't. I took it, I accepted, but the fight didn't go up, and I got another one. Then you know, bureaucratic kind of the issues didn't go forward as well, and then we got Piotr. Related to March, I was kind of happy because the biggest immigration community, Portuguese community, is in France. It's millions and millions and millions of Portuguese living in France. Like everyone in Portugal has some friend or some family that lives in France. And for sure, like this time, it won't be 10,000 Irish, you know, men screaming for me, but for sure it will be a good thousands Portuguese men screaming for me in the arena. So I think I have a good home feeling as well here. But you know, in the end of the day, those things don't bother me. I've been in home soil. I've been in enemy soil. I've been, you know, shouted. I've been booed. All those things don't matter for me. It's part of the game, and I kind of like it. In the end of the day, what really matters is when their door, the cage door, is shut, and it's me and them, and it's time to go. That's really what matters.
When that cage door closes, obviously Piotr is a very good fighter. I liken him a little bit to you on the feet. He comes forward, he throws lots of big shots. How do you think you match up with him? Obviously, he's a good wrestler as well, but what do you think of the matchup?
I think you know, I'm taking this fight very, very seriously. It's not because he's doing his first Bellator fighting that I'm gonna kind of overlook him. I'm taking this fight as, you know, the hardest fight of my career. I'm approaching this fight very, very, especially because I you know, I don't know, but I believe that he's taking this chance as the chance of his life, and I've been there, you know. But this is my time to prove that I'm here to take the belt, that I'm the best. And stylistically, I see it, you know, I see overall better than him. I can see myself better striker. He's a very good wrestler. He's a very good grappler. He has good submission skills. But you know, I have my tricks, and specifically for him, we've been doing a good game plan. I've been a good camp, and I have some tricks on my sleeve as well. And yeah, overall striking, you know, floor doesn't matter. We are prepared.
Thanks, Pedro. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Kobe.
Hi, Pedro. Kobe from the Pro Sports Podcasters. Last we talked was actually before the virtual fight. You said we'd see the best Pedro Carvalho ever, and we did. You looked phenomenal, world class. Did something click during that camp ahead of that fight?
On Vital one?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was the moment. I knew that I needed that because, like I said, I needed to win. My career, myself, needed a win. And was the opponent itself. I mean, I don't need to present Vital. Everyone knows Vital. Everyone knows his accomplishments and his career. And I knew I had to bring like more than my A game. And you know, the pressure just, I don't know, the pressure makes me better. And even though I'm very confident, I feel that under pressure, the more pressure I have, the better I perform. And that was that moment. And like I've said, was that specific one was special. It was everything. I just felt that everything was special. Like not the others have been special, but that was different. Was, like I've said, was like a accumulating of situations. You know, my double debut, everything was just, you know, perfect. And it couldn't have been the other way, you know. And I remember on second round when he kind of put me on the ground. I was like, no, fuck no, you're not gonna win tonight, no. And I remember I just, you know, I turned off the gas and you know, never look back. And it is what it is. But yeah, it was. I wouldn't say that was my best performance. I don't think it was my best performance. But was undoubtedly so far the specialist night of my career.
It's fantastic, man. I hope you have another great night.
Thank you.
Mike?
Hey, Pedro. Appreciate you making time today. Just wanted to kind of talk about what you alluded to earlier, which, talking about coming into the White Show fight, the atmosphere, the crowd. How did all of that, getting the win, getting all the stuff behind the scenes figured out with you, how did all of that kind of shape up to where you are coming into this fight and how you plan to attack the rest of 2022?
Big time because those two losses that I had, I put them on my back, especially the second one with JJ, where I should have gave to myself time because I wasn't ready. It was too soon to get into another fight, and I rushed in, and I paid a price. And after that, during those first 2 months, was a hard process. It was just like, when someone has an accident, he has to do physiotherapy, try to walk again. That was me. It concerns mentally, and I was always, my entire life, I was this, I consider myself this strong individual, mentally unbreakable, but I was in that bad shape. I need to, bit by bit, I knew I could get back, but I need to give myself time. I needed to prove myself. I needed that moment to prove myself, and I just gave myself time. And then when the time come with a Weishel fight, I knew that I'm gonna prove to everyone, but I was mainly focused to prove to myself that, hey, you can do it. Everything you said about you being the best, that you're gonna be champion, you can do it. And after I got my hand raised, I just, like I've said, I shook it off those losses. I proved to everyone, and especially to myself, there, yeah, you can do it. And here I am. I'm on the track now. My eyes are completely focused in get that belt, finish what I started, and it's a matter of time. It doesn't matter if it's going to be in 1 year time or maybe 2. It's a matter of time until I'll be world champion.
Last one here from me, Pedro. Just going back to that moment, because that Bellator 270, the crowd, the event, everything, it's one of my all-time favorites, and you were there, so I don't have to tell you why. But when you come into a fight like that, where you're putting so much pressure on yourself and you know what you're carrying into the building that night, can you kind of take us all through what it was like being in that building, having that pressure on yourself? And now, obviously, things went your way, and what was that night like for you?
I think it's hard to put it into words. It's really one of those things that you needed to be there to feel it. You know what I mean? And the more than 10,000 people that have been there know it. But I would say that is spectacular and magical. It's unreal. It's unreal, absolutely unreal. And it was, especially for me, having 10,000 people screaming for me, it was goosebumps. I remember on the first round, I throw a high kick or a middle kick, and Weishel grabbed, and we end up scrambling and getting into the ground, and he ended up on my back. And normally the hometown favorite, if he has in a bad position, people go silent, and I straight away everyone will go start screaming, shouted. I remember people going "Ole," and I remember just defending, and like just like for like half second, I was just looking at everyone. I was like, "Fuck, this is amazing," and then I just continued to protect myself because I needed to. But it was magical, and I think it's if anyone that is an MMA fan, it needs to be in Tree Arena. It needs to be in Dublin and see with themselves how magical that is.
All right, we'll take our last question here from Carissa.
Thank you for speaking with us today, Pedro. My question to you is how, once you win your fight on Friday for the prelims, what would it mean for you to win in the big stage in France?
I mean, a win for me in France is the same as win for me in anywhere. Like, win is a win. I'm here like I said, I'm in to get the belt. I want to finish what I started, be world champion, and this is just another step towards that goal. You know, that's pretty it. I can't define it in other way. I'm here for business. I'm here to put on a performance. I intend to put on the best performance of my career. I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna put a show for the fans, because that was kind of me until, you know, things not going well. Then I changed. I got mature. Now I fight for myself. But I know that, you know, my style, you know, makes fights appealing. But I'm interested in go out there, be clinical, put on a performance, put the featherweight, you know, on notice, and that's it. Just give one more step towards the belt, and get the win.
And my follow-up for you, you're currently number 5 ranked in the featherweight division, and you say that you want the title. Do you feel like after this match on Friday, do you see yourself already facing for the title, or do you think you still need a few more opponents in order to?
I think I need at least one more fight, depending on who it is. Maybe someone, you know, in top 5, kind of a number 1 contender fight. But definitely at least one more fight, I will need it.
All right. Thank you very much, Pedro. Appreciate your time.
Recording stopped.
We'll be joined next by Soren Bak. If you have any questions for Soren, please raise your hand now, and we will call on you.
Get out of here.
Recording in progress.
All right, we're now being joined by Soren Bak. If you have a question, please press the raise hand button now. We will get started here with Santiago. Santiago, your line is live.
Hi, Søren. Greetings from Amsterdam. Thank you for the time. You were supposed to fight against Saul Rogers. When did you get the news that this fight was off? And when did you hear that Charlie Leary wanted to step up?
Yeah, so it's always unfortunate to have an opponent drop out late in the preparation process. That's kind of the thing we do a lot about trying to prepare specifically for each fighter we face. So I believe it was like maybe 10 days ago, a week, 2 weeks maybe, that I got the call that Saul was out with an injury, and pretty much right away we started working on a replacement fight. Charlie Leary came up really quickly.
I spoke to Mats Burnell 2 months ago about the Bellator event in Copenhagen, and he was very enthusiastic about that idea. You, of course, fought for Cage Warriors in Copenhagen as well. Do you think it will be a good idea for Bellator to visit Denmark in the near future?
Yeah, I mean, me and Mads are both tearing up our divisions, so it would make perfect sense to get into the Scandinavian countries at least, but Copenhagen would be a fine choice.
What do you see when you look at the lightweight division of Bellator MMA? Because this was a division that needed some work, but the promotion has done an excellent job bringing in many strong names like yourself. Do you like what they've done with this division?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, lightweight divisions all over the world are pretty strong. It's a big weight class, so a lot of fighters, of course. But Bellator definitely stepped up the game here. That said, I see myself as belonging in the top 10 rankings in the very near future. And also, I see a lot of potential good matchups I have in the top 10.
Good luck on fight night, sir.
Thank you.
Carissa?
Hi, Mr. Bak. Thank you for taking the time to speak to us today. So I had just checked. You are currently fighting for the 160 weight contract weight. And your opponent is, somebody to keep an eye on. Do you feel very motivated, and have you changed your training regimen in order to, eventually get the win?
Yeah, so of course, catch weight is never nice. Like, I've been preparing for over 3 months for fighting Saul Rogers and going specifically to 155. So, that, like I said, it's never nice to have an opponent drop out when you specifically work towards that goal. That said, I don't see we didn't do that many specific changes. Of course, some things, because Charlie is a taller guy and his strengths and weaknesses are different than Saul's, but really when we develop our game plan, it's more of a question of pushing the fight where I got the advantage, and that hasn't really changed with his opponent change. The biggest difference I see, other than Charlie's length and reach, would be, I think Charlie is actually a mentally tougher fighter than Saul is.
And you said that, he's a tougher fighter. And I know a lot of people say that they don't watch their opponents, fights from the past. Are you somebody that does watch it, or do you don't?
Yeah, so when we get an opponent, me and my team of coaches, we sit down and watch every fight we can find on the guy. So we're definitely kind of team that specifically looks into what kind of person, what kind of fighter is this, and have they performed in the past, and also look into maybe why they underperformed or overperformed at some venues in the past. And we all put that into our game plan.
All right, thank you so much.
No worries.
I'll take one here from Sean.
Hi, Søren. Sean Sheehan here from severemma.com. Obviously you spoke there about your opponent this weekend, Charlie Leary, and he lost his last fight, but he has some very impressive performances. The Kiefer Crosby win was very, very good. You're preparing for Saul Rogers, who is a good striker, but predominantly a wrestler. Now you're coming in against a guy like Charlie Leary, who was, 10 knockouts, and he's predominantly a striker. Has that been a big change for you? And what do you think of Charlie Leary and his all-around game?
So, yeah. It is true that I don't see Charlie being as strong a wrestler, but more of a striker than Saul. So definitely, I mean, at that point in the fight camp, there was not really many tweaks that we could do really to change up that pace. So we're prepared for anything and everything. And some of the tweaks we did was kind of prepare specifically for the kind of combinations that Charlie likes to throw. So I'm going to be ready for that, and he's not going to get me knocked out. So I'm going to get him down on the ground and put on a world of hurt.
A couple of years ago, you fought Morgan Charrier, who is a massive fan favorite over in Paris. Is there any danger you go in and you get a little bit booed, but people are remembering that on Friday night?
Well, there might be. I mean, Morgan Charrier, he really, from what I've seen, I've always followed the guys I fought in the past and keep on in their careers. From what I've seen, he really took off after the fight he had with me. He did some cross promotion with a YouTuber, I believe. So he's really big now, and deservedly so. He's one hell of a fighter.
Another guy, obviously, who you fought as well and has gotten very big is Paddy Pimblett. I was doing his thing in the UFC, and you beat him pretty comprehensively. What have your thoughts been on Paddy? And people talking about him as one of the best up and comers in the world, and it's only what, 4 years ago, and you beat him pretty comprehensively.
Yeah, so Paddy is definitely fun to follow. And I mean, he does some things very well. He's very energetic and very entertaining. Also, like not just in the cage, but on his way to the cage and after, and on his social media platforms. So definitely looking to get a few tips off of him. So at some point, as to his credibility as the hype around him, I mean, he's done quite well for himself since he fought me, and I think he really used that opportunity with the loss against me to mature as a fighter, and also from what you can see physically on him, is more a natural lightweight now than he was when he faced me. That's it. And yeah, maybe one day it would be nice to run it back.
Last question for me. There's an Irish card coming up in September, obviously, here. I'm looking at it in Ireland. And I think you're supposed to fight in Ireland once before, and it didn't end up happening. Would you like to be on that card with a win here? I know, Kiefer Crosby's not in the promotion before, but he's called you out. There's another few Irish people as well who've called you out. Is there any specific person you'd like to fight in Ireland, or would you like to fight in Ireland?
I would very much like it. I'm on the Viking World Tour, so Ireland is definitely one stop we need to do, and Dublin would be amazing.
Thank you, Søren. Appreciate it.
We do have one written question here from Kobe. He's asking if your opponent, Charlie Leary, shares a style with any of your previous opponents.
Not specifically, I would say. I think, and that also kind of threw us off when we were looking into Charlie. From what I've seen, it's quite unique what he does. It doesn't look very pretty, and I mean, I'm not very solid boxer myself, so I wouldn't begin to talk about his skills there. But from what I've seen, it doesn't look that pretty, but it gets the work done.
Very good. Thank you very much, Søren. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Good luck on Friday.
Thank you. As my coach says, we don't believe in we don't believe in good lucks. We believe in hard work.
Hard work on Friday. We'll be joined next by Davy Gallon.
Recording stopped.
If you have a question for Davy, please press the raise hand button now.
Recording in progress.
All right, we're now being joined by Davy Gallon. We will get this started here with Santiago. Santiago, your line is live.
Hi, Davy. Greetings from Amsterdam. Thank you for the time. You fought for Bellator MMA in London and Dublin, but not yet in France. How much does it mean to you to finally fight in your own country for this major MMA promotion?
So for me, it's a great opportunity and it's an honor to fight in my country. So I want to put on quite a big show and have a great war with my opponent. So basically, it makes me feel like I'm really lucky to fight in front of my crowd. So I'm pretty. I want to go in there. You know, I'm ready and I feel great. So I want to go in there and put on a show, and I expect to do it.
You're still undefeated inside the Bellator MMA cage, and you look quite impressive in your fights. Bellator pushed this fight up to the main card. Can you feel it as well, Davy, that the promotion is really giving you a great opportunity to make a name for yourself?
Yes, of course, of course. I have a first fight against Kane Moussa, a great opponent and a strong opponent too, because I feel his power in the clinch game. And then I have an opportunity to have a great fight with Charlie Leary. Charlie Leary have already maybe 5 fights or 6 fights in the Bellator cage, so it was quite a big fight for me. And I get a great knockout, and I was so happy because he's really a true warrior. And then Bellator give me the chance to fight in this cage one more time, in this beautiful cage one more time in Paris. So yeah, I think they give me a great opportunity, and I feel it too, like you say. And I'm pretty thankful to them to give me the opportunity to live the dream life, because for me it's really I do what I love and I'm paid for it. So yes, it's a dream life, and I feel the opportunity. So I'm thankful to Bellator.
What do you know about your opponent, Benjamin Brander? And did you have to change a lot of things in training specifically for this fight?
Not big changes, you know, because Benjamin Brander have maybe the same size as a Charlie Leary. So it's basically the same game plan. We have to work on boxing and kickboxing and everything. I always work on everything: wrestling, ground game, everything. So we didn't change much thing for this fight, you know, and try to keep up the good work in training camp with the cardio and the sparring and the technical part. So it was not a big changement for this fight, because they have basically the same style, you know. The only difference is Charlie's boxing, and Benjamin Brander, my opponent. I've if I can say that, not disrespect my opponent. It's not as good in boxing as Charlie Leary was.
Good luck on fight night, sir.
Oh, thank you so much, man.
Marissa?
Mr. Gallon, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to us today. My question to you is, what is your game plan going to this match, and how prepared do you feel, you know, facing your opponent?
Excuse me, can you just repeat the last question, please?
I said, how prepared do you feel right now, you know, facing your opponent for Friday?
Okay. Excuse me. Yes, I feel great. I don't have much weight to cut tonight, because I start the nutrition and to lose some weight maybe 1 month ago. So I'm not that tired. I drink well. I feel in shape. For this preparation, for this fight camp, and I feel in shape right now because I'm not tired. I feel really great. So and for the fight against Benjamin Brander, the game plan is try to get out of the range of this right high kick, because he have quite a quick leg, right leg, and I don't want to eat the kick. So I will try to have my left hand real up and be careful with the kicks. And then I just want to do a complete war. You know, I'm ready for everything: stand-up game, wrestling game, and ground game. So I just want to do a good show, a good war, and try to get the win before the decision.
Sean?
Hi, Shanchi in here from SevereMMA.com. I want to ask you, Davy, about the Ross Pearson knockout, the Rolling Thunder, and how maybe life has changed since that, because everyone saw it, and you obviously got signed for Bellator after that. Is that one of like those moments in life that kind of changed everything for you?
Oh yes, of course. Even if we don't talk about this Rolling Thunder kick, even the fact that I fought Ross Pearson was a great change in my life. You know, it was a guy who fought everybody in the UFC, Masvidal, Edson Barbosa, guys who still in this cage and fought against the best in the world. So only the fact that I will fight him, it was a big change in my life for me. It was a chance to go against this legend, and then. And then I have this crazy finish, you know. I saw Kyokushinkai video on YouTube. I said, "Oh, I love this kick. One day I will do it. I will do it." And I tell it to my coach. I was in my hotel room, just like visualization, fight with visualization. And he come in the room. I say, "Oh, coach, I want to do this thing." He say, "Oh, calm down, calm down. It's Ross Pearson, guy. You have to calm down. You can do it, but only at the end of the third round, in the third round." And I said, okay. And I was in the fight, great fight against a legend. It was pretty cool to fight against him. And then his third round, I don't know why it came. It was like instinctively, you know. I didn't think about it. It came out naturally. So and I get this crazy knockout, and like you say, that's why I feel this after the fight. Big message. I have my phone my phone go out because I have too much messages. So it was crazy, and then Bellator come in the play and say, "Well, we want you," and I say, "Okay, let's go." So it was crazy. Yeah. Fight Ross Pearson, knock out Ross Pearson, and then go to Bellator cage. I feel like I'm blessed.
Was it anything you'd ever trained before? Because it sounds like you saw it the night before and decided to do it. Had you even practiced it?
No, I don't even practice this kick. I saw it, and then I said, "Oh, it's look like you know." A judo, it's called ukemi in judo. And I said, "Oh, it looked like this." I did judo since I was 5 years old, so I know how to to do it. I say I will try it, and then I didn't practice it in training or even in the warm up with my coach. It feels like you know, I see it in my head. I say I will do it, and then in the fight it's come naturally. That's what is so crazy. Even me, I was surprised. Like it was so smooth, you know. And yes, it's kind of crazy, but no, I didn't work it in training. So it was like a crazy thing, man.
Thanks, Davy. I appreciate it.
Thanks to you, man. Bye.
We'll take our last question here from Valerie. Valerie, your line's live.
Okay. All right. Hi, Val TV from Las Vegas. Number one, congratulations for being on this card. Can you tell me, being that you're born in France, we know how you feel about fighting there, but what do you contribute to your success to be on this card with Bellator today?
Oh, thank you. I was born in Caen. It's a city. It's maybe I think it's 3 hours from Paris. It's like a small town, country. You know, you have cars and everything. It's not city things, you know. And for me, it's not only to fight in France, but you know, we don't have much. How can I say, much gym in this part of France. So we create a gym with my coach, with my actual head coach. And for us, it's not only a fight in France, it's fight for the Normandy, you know, this small part of it was in my heart and where I was born. So it's double. I'm really proud of this because to represent the small town in such a big event and in France, it's a crazy thing, you know. So like I said before, I feel really blessed for this opportunity to fight in this cage, in the Bellator cage, and in France, in Paris, to represent my Normandy.
And what can your fans and your supporters look forward to? Are we going to see a knockout?
Oh, like I say, it's I don't only want the knockout or the thing. I want to complete things. So in my head, it's I want to do a complete fight, a really like I say, a big war, because I don't want I don't want a thing when I try to half point and get the decision at the end of the fight. I will always try to have the finish, even it's on the ground or with a knockout. You know, it's a good opponent. It's a warrior too. So I will not say, oh no, I only want knockout. You know, if I can get him on the ground and knock out him with ground pound or submit him or everything, I will try to do everything in my power to don't let the judges get the decision. I want to finish this before the end of the fight.
Thank you, Davy. Good luck on Friday. We'll be joined next by Ryan Bader.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress.
All right, we're now being joined by the heavyweight champion of the world, Ryan Bader. Take our first question here from Sean Sheehan. Your line is live.
Hi, Ryan. Sean Sheehan here from SevereMMA.com. I just want to ask you, obviously, this is the second time yourself and Cheick Kongo are fighting. How do you reflect on that fight? Obviously, the ending, the way it ended with the no contest, but also the fight itself going forward as we fight again on Saturday night or Friday night even.
Yeah, I just kind of went forward right off the bat. It was kind of doing what I wanted and whatever I wanted. I felt like I was hitting him with everything I threw, pushing him back, and then I got him on the ground there. I tried for the Kimura transition to mount and started throwing from there and ground and pound and until that no contest. But I felt it was going great, So every fight's a new fight though, but look to continue that if that happens, ends up on the ground. But I feel comfortable wherever it is.
Cheick has only fought twice since that last fight, and obviously you fought up and down weights 4 times. Do you think that's a bigger advantage to you or him? And have you seen much changes from him in that time as well?
Yeah, I think that's an advantage for me. We're both veterans and we have a ton of fights and we're always going to have that. And we're always going to have that, go when it's go time. But for me, I've been jumping around. I've been going to light heavyweight, which is hard to do for me. But back at home at heavyweight, I had a tough fight last fight, but it felt amazing. And I've had, I fought in October, I fought in January, I'm fighting in May. And so for me, when the fights are like that, it's a lot easier to get in that routine and keep the momentum going. Because if you don't fight for a while, you kind of can fall back in training. You can kind of get that fire out of your head. And I've been going this last year basically, so I feel ready.
How big was it for you to turn around with that Moldavsky fight? Because coming from a 51 second knockout, I always look back on the fight between Jose Aldo and Frank Edgar after Aldo had been knocked out in 13 seconds by McGregor. To me, that's one of the best performances of all time because of the mental side of it. You did the exact same thing here, going 5 rounds and winning and dominating that fight. How big was that for you mentally?
Yeah, it was in my my home city too. I had a ton of fans there, the whole arena, and then to lose like that and lose quick, it sucks, but it's MMA. Could happen to any of us, and I'm glad I got a redo, and I'm glad it went well, and Moldavsky is a really tough guy, tough young guy, and one of the better guys in the division, and to go out there and pull through and get that win was huge, I felt great just coming back to heavyweight basically, and I've always bounced back from my losses and not really dwelled on them. Just worked harder, fixed what I needed to fix, and be better.
We've got a lot of questions, so let's keep it to one per person here. Starting with Jay, your line is live. All right, moving on to Santiago.
Hi, Ryan. Greetings from Amsterdam. Thank you for the time. You fought in Sweden and Germany, but not yet in France. What was your first reaction when you heard that this fight was going to be in Kongo's backyard?
I was excited. I haven't fought overseas in a while. I've fought all over. I fought in Australia, Japan, and like you mentioned, those 3. And so to fight in France, I was all over it, and I have fought twice the last 2 fights in my hometown. I don't think it's always, the best thing. It's fun because I've never fought in front of the hometown crowd, but there's a lot of pressure that comes with that, and so I'd rather be the guy coming into another guy's hometown, and bringing an upset in that way. I've done it my whole career, from going down to Brazil to going to Japan, all that kind of stuff. So I embrace it. I love traveling to fight. I haven't done it in a while, and I always do well in these type of fights.
Al?
Ryan, how's it going?
Good. How you doing?
Good, thank you. Shout out from all the way from South Africa. I just wanted to go through a few. First one for me, Ryan. Talk about high-profile rematches against big opponents. What would you say are the pros and cons of rematches? Obviously, the one with Kongo went a bit astray, but you still got a bit of time, a couple of reads. So what would you say are the pros and cons of these kind of high-profile rematches?
Yeah, I've had 3 rematches in my career, and I've won all 3 of those. I didn't really have a choice on this one. It was kind of given to me right after the last fight. They said, Kongo came in and said, hey, you're fighting Kongo in France, which, I was all for it. I like rematches because you never know how a strong, fast a guy is until you get in there with him, and you can game plan from there, knowing kind of his body type, how strong he is, how he reacts. If you have to put 2, 3, 4 different things together, and so for me, I like them, and like I said, I've been undefeated in rematches, and so hope to keep that streak rolling.
Dylan?
What's up, Ryan? It's Dylan Rush back home in Arizona. After that controversial nose poke in your last bout, would you say you have more animosity towards Kongo than you typically do for an average opponent?
Yeah, for sure. It was the animosity really came from with him and his team calling me a dirty fighter and whatnot, like I did it on purpose. And I think he said he had me where he wanted me. It was just a matter of time. So for me, it's there's definitely more animosity, but at the same time, I'm gonna go and do my job like I always do, and that's it. Just want to get in there, have a clean win, decisive win, and be done with that whole chapter of Kongo.
Other Dylan Balker.
How's it going, Ryan? Appreciate you making the time.
Sure.
I'm just curious. I noticed on the Instagram there you were getting in work with Antonio Branjau, and it seemed like you were trying to replicate the height and reach of Kongo there. Like, who else are you working with in your camp to mirror the, I guess, physical frame and maybe even the stylistic tells of Kongo?
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much him on this camp. We brought him in exclusively to work with us. He's always in shape. He's a good fighter. He's a good striker. Really good on the ground. He's long. He's strong, and so I brought him in for the last fight also. And it's good to see that that length and you take a couple. It takes a couple weeks to get used to that, but then dealing with that big body, that tall body. It'll feel, like home when I'm in there against Kongo, who has a similar body. And so, working with him has been amazing. He's always in shape to go 5 rounds hard and pushes me. And it's been great having him.
All right. We'll take one from Mills.
Hey, how's it going, Ryan? This is MMA Locker Room, part of Puff Sports Radio.
What's going on?
Man, I've been following your career ever since Ultimate Fighter, man. I actually remember at one of the UFC events, you were walking through the crowd. You actually made your way to actually take pictures with all the fans and everything like that, man. You're one of the people's people out here, man. So looking back, my bad. So looking back at it, man, can you remember if there was one fight or one fighter that you had that just changed your life for the better or for the worse?
If we're kind of talking about like fights that I kind of remember, I want to say there's like a fighter that really has, changed my life. I don't know if you're meaning by like advice or whatnot, but my 3 favorite fights, one would be, I fought Keith Jardine after he just beat Chuck Liddell. It was my first big name fight and fighting down in Australia. And I go out there and ended up knocking him out. And I just didn't know, where I belonged, and another one was fighting Rampage Jackson in Japan, in Tokyo. It was a huge name and all that. And then probably my favorite one was beating Fedor, in the heavyweight Grand Prix in Bellator here and becoming double champion, the heavyweight champion. And that kind of basically, filled me in that everything I was doing, was the right thing throughout my life, being an athlete and striving to be the best. And it was just a special night.
We'll go to Josh.
Ron, I'd just like your thoughts on the crossover we're really seeing from MMA and boxing at the moment. Do you think it's a positive thing for the sport? And can you ever see yourself getting in the boxing ring?
I like all the different opportunities, honestly. The more stuff out there for the fighters, the better, I've always felt. If a fighter can go make money somewhere, even if it's these, one-off deals where, they get a big payday and they can box or whatever it is. And yeah, I'm always open to different things, I always said I would like to have at least one boxing match, and it's got to be, got to make sense though. So we'll see what happens. And like I said, even if these things kind of pop up and fade away, it's good to have options for these fighters or even guys that kind of want to, hey, I want to jump out of retirement and fight this one fight, and I need that fire again and this competition. So I think it's all good.
Mike?
Hey, Ryan, just got 2 questions here for you. And the first one being, what challenges you at this stage of your career? You've almost done it all. You fought everywhere. You just talked about some of your favorite fights throughout your career. You want to close this chapter. What keeps you going, and where would you kind of assess where you're at this stage in your career?
The guy at the end of the contract, as far as when you're signing that contract, there's a guy trying to kick your ass. And I still love to compete, and this is what I'm good at basically. And that's where I can compete. I was sick of wrestling. And I thought I was done, way back when. But I had that fire to keep on going and compete, and I still do, and I can train how I need to train. So just signed a new 4-fight deal with Bellator, and looking to stay at heavyweight. And obviously this is a career, so financially is, financials is a motivation. But competing and still trying to be the best and pushing myself is also there. I'm not out here to, okay, I'm just going to be a mediocre guy and take these fights and make money and whatnot. If I'm going to do it, I'm still going to try to be the best at it. And so, that's where my mind state or mind frame is right now.
My second question, also congrats on the new deal. You're in the 2 divisions that a lot of talk between your previous promotion and Bellator, and we just saw recently Bellator sending over a fighter to Eagle FC. Obviously, that brings up co-promotion. You just kind of talked about the boxing crossovers, but would you like to see more promotions get into it? Because in the two weight classes that you're a part of and that you've been a part of, it's always been your previous home and your current home going back and forth. Who's got the better of the two among those weight classes?
Yeah.
Would you like to see these co-promotion fights?
It'd be fun, like here and there. But I think we talk about it a lot, but it's never really going to happen between the UFC and Bellator. I don't think, not for a while. And so it's kind of a fantasy, but I mean, I would love to, I was saying earlier, I love these different opportunities for fighters. That would be a big opportunity for somebody, so anything that's different, it's good by me as far as, we're doing these Grand Prix, if a guy in MMA can go make some money boxing, if we can do cross promotion and get, more eyeballs on the sport and have opportunities for these fighters. I think that's great for everybody.
Jay?
Hey, thanks very much. Sorry for the technical difficulties earlier, but you mentioned your 4-fight deal there, and I'm curious, at this point in your career, do you see this as potentially your last contract, or could this be a case where, like Cheick Kongo, we see you at 46 still fighting?
I don't think I'm going to be a 46-year-old fighting. I have other stuff I want to do, but when we talked about this contract, I don't see myself going down to light heavyweight anymore. That's one thing that was kind of like, I don't know if I want to put myself through that, that weight cut, and I just don't feel great. So for me right now, it's like, all right, we're going to finish out this deal here and kind of see where we go from there. That could be a 2-year deal, so I'll be a little over 40 at that point. And, if I still have that belt and say, hey, I want to get 1 more, 2 more, something like that, or if whatever it is, it's something I'll cross that line, but I can still train the way I need to train right now to be successful. And I still want it. I still, have that fire burning. And so I'm not going to leave that on the table. I'm still going after it, and I can do it. And obviously I'm, heavyweight champ, and I'm striving to continue that throughout these 4 fights.
If you could rate the so-called storybook ending to the career of Ryan Bader, what would it be?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's hard to beat. Like I was talking about earlier, winning that heavyweight championship, with beating Fedor, knockout, and it was a perfect storm, becoming a 2-division champion, and that I'll always look back at that, and that'll be kind of like that highlight deal. For me, it's like I said, I've had 40-something fights in here. It's making money, it's competing, still trying to be my best. And for me, run these these 4 fights out and either retire champion or, maybe take 1 or 2 more, and then who knows, and like I said, I'll be always open to different opportunities if they arise.
All right. Well, thanks very much. Best of luck on Friday.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan. Good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
We'll be joined shortly by Yoel Romero.
Recording stopped. Recording in progress. Recording in progress.
Okay, we're now being joined by Yoel Romero. If you have a question for Yoel, press the raise hand button now. We'll get started here with Jay Anderson. Jay, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, Yoel, welcome back. And first of all, obviously an opponent change here, and I'm wondering just how much of an adjustment you've had to make, going from Melvin to Alex Polizzi.
Justo tú has hecho el cambio de oponente de Melvin Hover a Alex Polizzi.
Bueno, en realidad el cambio que tuve que hacer fue visualizar dos personas de distintos colores. Uno era oscuro y el otro era blanco. Porque los dos son más o menos de la misma estatura y el plan era hacer lucha.
Really, the only difference I had to imagine was two different men of different skin color. They're both same stature, and I planned on wrestling the entire time.
Sean?
Hi, Yoel. You mentioned your wrestling there. What do you think of Alex Polizzi's wrestling?
Hola, Joel, tú mencionaste ahí tu lucha. ¿Qué tú piensas de la lucha de Alex Polizzi?
Bueno, es una lucha bastante básica. Él la utiliza bastante y le ha dado resultados. Y gracias a Dios hemos hecho un campamento en base a la lucha, ¿no? Porque era lo que íbamos a hacer contra Melvin. Y así que estamos preparados para la pelea, para la lucha que me pueda ofrecer Alex.
Alex has decent basic wrestling. He's had good results with it. Luckily, our game plan this whole camp was to wrestle against Menhoff. So I'm ready for whatever wrestling Alex Polizzi tries to throw at me.
A lot of people say about your game, you came over as an Olympic level wrestler, that you haven't used wrestling enough. Is that something maybe you regret in your career, that you should have used wrestling more?
Tú viniste a este deporte siendo un campeón olímpico en lucha. ¿Tú quieres usar la lucha más ahora?
No, yo voy a usar la lucha cuando tenga que usarla. Esto es un deporte de artes marciales mixtas, esto no es lucha olímpica, es un deporte donde hay que mezclar todos los deportes de combate, y eso es lo que he aprendido sobre este deporte durante todos estos años.
This is MMA. I will use my wrestling whenever it's needed, but I'm going to use all my attributes that I have learned throughout all these years of training.
And last question for me, you've lost 4 in a row now, and obviously you're looking for your first Bellator win here. How big is simply getting the win on Friday night?
Well, las últimas 4 no has tenido los resultados que tú querías. ¿Qué importante es esta pelea ahora para ti?
Para mí todas las peleas han tenido la misma importancia, es sumar una victoria más a mi carrera.
For me, every fight is equally important. It's just adding one more victory to my career.
Dylan?
I appreciate you taking my call. I'm just kind of curious because with the opponent change from Melvin Manhoff to Alex Polizzi, ending up fighting a higher ranked opponent in the division, is that something Yoel is happy about, or does he not think about the rankings hierarchy too much?
Bueno, te cambiaron el oponente, pero Alex Polizzi está rankeado 15, más alto que Melvin Manhoff. ¿Eso te alegra? ¿Estás excited para eso o tú no piensas en eso?
Ahora mismo no estaba pensando en eso, en el ranking, de quién viene con quién ranking. Yo lo que quería era que me pusieran un peleador para yo poder pelear y hacerme sentir bien y ver que también me había preparado para esta jornada, no importara el oponente que me pusieran, yo lo iba a enfrentar y hacer que mis manos estuvieran alto.
Right now, I'm not thinking about rankings. I haven't thought about rankings. I needed someone in there, and I'm glad they got a replacement. I wanted to see my preparation, how well I prepared, and my hand's going to be raised.
Toby?
Hi, Yoel. I was wondering, Alex Polizzi's never been stopped, although he came very close to getting stopped in his last fight. Is this fight going to go 3 rounds, or are you the guy to do it?
Alex Polizzi nunca lo han parado, aunque la última pelea casi sí lo pararon. ¿Tú serías el hombre que para hacerlo?
Yo soy el hombre que se va a llevar la mano en alto el sábado. Eso es lo que es viernes. Eso es lo que yo sí sé.
What I do know is that Friday night my hand will be raised. That's what I know.
Le doy muchas gracias a él por haber cogido la pelea con poco tiempo.
I thank him very much for getting this fight last minute.
Pero si no vino preparado para ahora, es posible que se lleve su primera derrota porque lo pare.
But if he's not ready for this fight, it is possible that in the first round I get him out of there.
Tengo mi mentalidad puesta ahora en arrollar y vencer y ser el campeón.
My mind is to run through him, get this victory, and have my hand raised.
Estoy muy bien preparado, con toda la humildad y con toda la sencillez que me caracteriza. Lo que puedo saber es, y estoy muy contento, es la preparación que he hecho. Me he preparado muy bien, gracias a Dios.
I am very happy with my preparation. That's one thing that I know. With all sincerity, my preparation is I'm on point.
Me había preparado también igual para la pelea de Phil Davis, solo que me había tuve un percance de que no sabía cuántos rounds eran y eso me dejó un poco un mal sabor porque no di el 100% en la pelea.
The fight with Phil Davis had left a bad taste in my mouth. Even though I was well prepared for that fight, I wasn't able to show it due to the confusion of the rounds of the fight.
Pero ahora no estamos en ese caso.
But this is not the case.
Y eso es una de las cosas que no para demostrar a nadie, sino porque para quitarme a mí mismo ese mal sabor.
And it's not to, show anyone anything. But it's just for myself to get rid of that bad taste I left in my mouth.
Porque cuando tú mismo no te sientes bien con lo que hiciste, sabiendo que podías dar muchísimo más y no lo diste, pues no porque no quisiste, sino porque era una estrategia, pensaste que era más round y te quedas con ese mal sabor, tú dices, wow, he regalado una pelea, pero me entiendes, pero nada, it is what it is, seguimos adelante y aquí estamos para eso.
Because when you know that you could have given more than what you gave due to the confusion of strategy, that just leaves a bad taste in your mouth. But now we know what it is, and it is what it is, and we're ready.
El ganar y el perder, eso está en la bolsa, pero cuando tú no das el 100% de ti, te deja un mal sabor.
Winning or losing, anyone can take that, but when you don't give yourself your 100%, that's what makes someone feel bad and what leaves a bad taste in someone's mouth.
Y después de la pelea con Davis, pues estuvimos preparando con ese amor, con ese hambre y con ese deseo a cualquier atleta que nos pusieran.
After that Phil Davis fight, me and my team have been getting ready with desire, dedication, and everything we have for anyone that stepped in front of us.
Me pusieron a Melvin, dije, ok, perfecto. Cambiaron a Melvin, pues ok, perfecto igual.
They put Melvin, we said perfect. They switched the opponent, we said whoever, bring him.
Looking forward to it.
Mike?
Hey, Yoel, I know this is your second fight with Bellator, and this is just a two-part question very quickly for me. One, what's it like being a part of Bellator now? I know you just talked about the confusion of the rounds in the first fight, but what's it like coming into your second fight with Bellator? And really at this stage of your career, having fought all over the world, having fought the best of the best, what drives you to keep going? Is it to become champion, or what is it that keeps you going every single day?
Dos preguntas, Joel. Yo sé que esta es su segunda pelea con Bellator. ¿Cómo es tu experiencia todavía? ¿Cómo ha pasado tu experiencia con Bellator? La segunda pregunta es que tú has competido en el mundo entero a los niveles más altos. ¿Cuál es lo que te sigue a ti motivando para seguir compitiendo? ¿Es el cinturón? ¿Qué es?
Pues bueno, estoy muy contento con el trato que hasta ahora me han dado aquí en la casa de Bellator. Verdaderamente todos los trabajadores y los jefes se han proyectado de una manera muy humble y muy profesional. Esa es la primera pregunta.
The first question is, the first part of the question, that he's very happy with Bellator. They're super professional, super humble. He's happy to call this his home.
Y la segunda, pues el saber qué puedo hacer todavía con la edad que tengo, saber lo que estoy haciendo y lo que amo, y haciéndolo de esta manera, y saber que todavía por los parámetros en los entrenamientos puedo ser aún duradero, eso me motiva. Y saber que puedo tener el cinturón, que por una u otra razones nunca lo pusieron en mi cinturón, en mi cintura en UFC, pues aquí vengo con esa ansia de tenerlo en Bellator.
Seeing how well I perform in training, seeing how intense my training sessions are, motivates me and to continue competing. Even at my age, I can still see the parameters being set that I'm not slowing down. For one reason or another, I didn't achieve the belt at UFC, but that is one of the goals that I have, to achieve the belt here in Bellator.
Santiago.
Hola, Yoel. Buenas tardes y saludos desde Ámsterdam, hermano. ¿Cómo estás?
Hola, hermano, muy bien. Un saludo a ti, a todos los hermanos y a todos los oyentes de ahí de Ámsterdam.
I'm going to continue in English, Yoel. Many Bellator fans are asking for a fight between you and Gegard Mousasi because you are the two amazing legends in this MMA game. Mousasi wants to move up to light heavyweight starting next year. Is that a fight that would interest you, Yoel?
Well, todo el mundo está hablando de la pelea contigo, con Mousasi. Ya sé que los dos son leyendas. Mousasi habló que iba a subir para las 205 empezando este año. Esa pelea se da en 205. ¿Qué tú crees sobre esa pelea?
Es algo que a toda la fanaticada de las artes marciales mixtas le gustaría ver por la trayectoria que tenemos los dos, pero en realidad a mí ahora mismo no me motiva una pelea con Mousasi en 205. Me gustaría verle la cara en 185 por el título.
Mousasi's a great fight. Every MMA fan wants to see us fight due to the trajectory in our careers. At this moment, at 205 doesn't interest me very much. I would love to face him at 185.
No tiene nada que ver con Mousasi, no tiene nada que ver con una pelea contra él, sino con lo que él tiene.
It has nothing to do anything personal against Mousasi. It has everything to do with what he has.
Si él sube a 205, no va a tener lo que yo deseo tener de él.
If he jumps to 205, he's not going to have what I desire. So it's an interest of all the fans and myself.
Entonces la pelea creo que sería mejor en 185.
So I believe the fight would be better for 185.
Bellator has shown a lot of interest to host shows in Miami, your own backyard. Unfortunately, you weren't on the Miami card last November, Yoel. If Bellator returns there again later this year, would you like to be on that card?
Bellator ha ido a Miami varias veces, pero tú no estuviste en la cartelera de Miami esta última vez. Si Bellator regresa a Miami al final de año, ¿usted le gustaría estar en esa cartelera?
Lo que sí me gustaría primero es hacer con hecho y después hablamos de eso. Primero toca ahora Alex Polizzi.
First thing is first, Alex Polizzi, then we'll talk about the future.
Dylan?
Hey, y'all. After growing accustomed to the UFC octagon for nearly a decade, did you have to make any adjustments, or did you feel comfortable in Bellator's bigger circular cage?
Estuviste en el UFC en el octano por casi 10 años. Bellator tiene un cage que es más circular. ¿Te tuviste que adaptar a una estrategia diferente o te sentiste bien?
No, para nada. No tiene nada que ver si el octágono es un poco más circular o un poco más rectangular. Eso no tiene nada que ver. Las reglas son iguales. Ahí lo que te puede hacer un cambio a veces son las reglas.
No, not really. Didn't really feel a difference if it's more circular, more rectangular. The rules are the same. The only thing that could change one's game plan could be the rules, but the rules are the same.
Dylan? All right, move on to Luis.
Joel, saludo. Luis Cotés de Lucha Libre Online desde Puerto Rico. Te pregunto, ¿qué significa para ti representar los colores de tu país y de los latinos en una compañía tan grande como ahora en Bellator?
Bueno, Luis, saludos, Dios te bendiga, día a tu linda tierra. Pues, ¿qué te voy a decir? Lo mismo que le puede representar a otro atleta, ¿no? Representar su país. Para mí es un orgullo poder representar a los cubanos, representar a los latinos, como siempre lo he hecho, dando lo mejor de mí y hacer sentir a nuestra comunidad bien representada. Espero estar haciéndolo bien y que Dios me los bendiga a todos. Y que Dios me cuide y que Dios me siga bendiciendo y fortaleciendo para poder darle a ustedes lo que a ustedes les gusta.
Amén, amén. Aprovechando que mencionaste a Phil Davis anteriormente, ¿te gustaría una revancha?
Pues bueno, sí, claro que sí, me gustaría, sin tener nada personal, si se da en el futuro, pero yo creo que la revancha tendría que ganármelo. Y pues entonces trabajaré en pos a eso, junto con mi team, trabajaremos duro para si el día de mañana se me otorga, se me da la facilidad o me gano la revancha, pues vernos las caras.
Perfecto, perfecto. Muchas gracias, Joel, por tu tiempo y suerte en tu combate.
Gracias.
All right. Thank you very much, Yoel. Appreciate your time. Good luck on Friday. That will conclude our session for today. We look forward to having you guys join us on Fight Night. We will have these calls starting at 9 p.m. local time, which is 3 p.m. Eastern time. We'll have a little song to play us off by Yoel Romero.